Republican strategist Liam Donovan is with us. He once worked for the National Republican Senatorial Committee, which is the political arm of Senate Republicans dedicated to getting them elected to Congress. I wonder what you think of what Graham said there, Liam. Can Republicans not take back the majority without Trump?
Thanks, Brianna. I think, look, this is the furthest away the election cycle is ever going to get. 2022 is a ways away. And right now, I think this is about sort of handling the family business. And I was at the NRSC, as you mentioned, in a cycle in 2010 where Republicans took the tack of let's paper over our differences, let's just barrel ahead and let political gravity do the rest. We got the House, but McConnell knows as well as anybody, we blew a lot of winnable Senate seats. And I think that's what this has an eye on, getting the right candidates in place heading into 2022.
But, Liam, I'm going to press you on this a little bit, because I think when we look at the personality of President Trump, you can't just assume that this is going to get papered over. He is very upset with what Minority Leader McConnell said. Is Trump essential here? Can Republicans move away from Trump and still win Senate seats?
Sure, I think that's an open question, but I think what McConnell has done, in a way, has demonstrated that you can poke the bear post-Twitter, and what you get is a long, rambling press release. It's not nearly as scary. I don't think Mitch McConnell is trying to get into a popularity contest with Donald Trump, but what he's doing is softening the ground and say, hey, look, you don't have to kowtow to everything that this guy does. And so I think, this sets up the tension that we're going to have heading into the next cycle. But again, we're heading into primary season. I think that's the key, and keeping people out that would otherwise be unsuitable candidates in November is going to be top of mind for McConnell.
So how do you do that? Because that didn't necessarily happen, certainly in House races.
Yeah, of course. And I think that's the fear, is you've now promoted some people who would otherwise be in line for statewide, challenges at the very least, and Georgia top of mind. And I think if you don't address it head on, there is a vocal part of the party that has a market for this. And so I think unless you address it head on, unless you are clear-eyed about this, unless you go out there and aggressively both recruit and challenge people that don't belong anywhere near a statewide bid, I think you're going to end up with these guys. Now, if Trump gets them across the line, that's one thing, but he's gonna do it without a fight. And so I think you have to have that reckoning now, as opposed to watching this slip away in 2022.
What are donors saying? Are they reflecting what Lindsey Graham said or not?
I think everybody's still getting their bearings. I mean, this has been so boom, boom. We had the undertow of an election that looked very different the Wednesday after in November than it does, 3 months later. And so I think donors are still reeling. But I think, look, there's a lot of opportunities. It's a big map. There are a lot of open seats already. And so there's a lot of hashing out that has to be done, a lot of settling that has to be done. And again, the primary is where it's at. And so I think this next year, forget about the last 6 months. That's where political gravity takes over. That's where the environment's going to dictate. But if you can't, handle these primaries in a way that's going to set you up for success, then I think it's all going to be moot.
All right. Hey, Liam, thank you so much for being with us. Liam Donovan.
Thanks, Brown.